Amapono. We come in peace. We look for and see the good in others. We train in mutual respect. Mahalo nui loa for joining us for our training today. Today our question is a simple one. What voice do you listen to? In the world around us today, there are a lot of different voices. And if you look at them from the outside, they can be upsetting to you. But if you look at them from the inside out, they can have a completely different perspective. Let's take a look at some of these voices. Pardon me while I add some more super vitamin C to my immunity drink, because that is what superheroes do. I think we should be staying home and saving lives. This virus is scary. This is the scariest thing we've ever seen in our whole lives. I'm just staying home and doing the right thing. I've got 360-degree industrial fans around my house to send all of those spores and droplets and bad air away from me. It's super scary. So I'm just staying home all the time. I've got my special custom mask and goggles and visor with a face shield just to make sure that none of those evil, scary droplets can ever touch me. And, you know, Walmart and Costco are open so I can get necessary survival food like Ben & Jerry's, Cherry Garcia, and Doritos. As long as I have this, we can get through this together. When I see these people complaining, it makes me mad. Them wanting to go back outside, it's going to kill us all. They're going to kill us all. So those people should all be arrested, and they should all be in jail, and they should have to pay $5,000 tickets, because according to all my favorite stars on TV, we're all in this together. So if we stay home, we can be staying home and saving lives. And I feel like I'm in control because I have my controllers. I can control Netflix and YouTube and Prime Video and Apple TV and all of that good stuff. And those awful people that are protesting, those people are going to get us all killed. So they need to stop because they're making me feel less safe. Why can't they just stay home and eat snacks and binge watch TV like me? The situation is super frustrating. Hey, sorry, I no more mask. Best I can do for make do. And don't worry, I know stay smoking, but I know I'm supposed to stay home, but you know what, get 18 people there, and school's closed. You think the kids at home, you think they're studying? No, they're having cockroach races, they're having fight with pieces of broken toys. Oh, it drive me crazy. My lady yelling at me all the time, and I need work. I need to go back work. I no more savings for 18 months with no work for eat. And it's nice, some people give us some food and stuffs, but bruh, want to apply for unemployment 6 weeks ago, still no more nothing. And I know can make them. I know can make them too much longer. So I stay super frustrated. And I don't want no handouts. I like work. I like earn my keep. I want pay my rent. I want feed my family. I like do it myself. So this situation stays super frustrating. No more nothing, bruh. No more nothing. I know can, bruh. Because America!
That's right. I don't have no mask on because freedom never needs to hide from anybody. Not no virus, not no nothing. According to this here document, the Constitution of these United States of America, my First and Second Amendment rights shall not be infringed for any reason. I can do anything I want. You see this here wall behind me? This is the wall of freedom. I built this wall. And yeah, you just remember this. Real superheroes, real American superheroes, we don't wear masks. We wear capes. And we are fully armed with fully automatic weapons. So in the words of that great born and bred American Mel Gibson, freedom! And yes, I know you're looking at my pants, but that's because the fight for freedom requires that you grow a pair. America!
Sorry, I only have a couple minutes. On the bright side, McDonald's has been kind enough, and so have a lot of other local businesses been kind enough in giving some of our healthcare workers and first responders food, and we really appreciate that, and thank you for that. But to get through this as a whole community, we're going to have to come up with big picture solutions. What we're seeing gives us more questions than answers. So as a physician, that the testing, the PCR only tells you if you have that globule, but it's all about when. Timing is everything. So what we saw with the swab testing is that timing was very dependent on whether or not the results had any validity. Sometimes people tested positive but ended up being negative. Sometimes they tested negative but ended up being positive. And even then, with the next level, with the finger prick testing, those kits are from China, and they are relatively, their cost is roughly $7 for physicians. But even then, they have a lot of latitude in terms of accuracy, and they don't really tell us everything that we need to know in terms of data. And what most people don't understand is that there's a big difference between quantitative data and qualitative data. So the qualitative data might say whether or not someone has something or not, but at what level? And do they or do they not have positive antibodies? And even then, at what stage are we at in antibodies? So you can have IgM, which is that immediate immunity response where your system fights back the invasion of the virus, and then you have what we call IgG, which is more your long-term resiliency to the disease. And that's really what we need to see. So when you hear the two different sides of the public, on one hand, we did a great job of isolating, and our community culturally was particularly good at keeping the social distancing and staying at home and being respectful and courteous of others. And that actually allowed us, in terms of scientific data, to see which communities were more at risk and more in danger of the disease growth patterns. Also, in terms of the other side of that equation, what we really need to see is positive immunity. And that requires true time and data to identify all the different little factors because of timing. Even people that may show positive immunity, we don't know how long that will be. Will that be something that lasts for 6 months or 2 years, as the case with some other previous diseases? Or will it be something that once you've had the disease and you've overcome it, now for the rest of your life you're okay? We simply don't know all of these answers. And on the healthcare front, it's been challenging. So although on one hand it's a good thing that some hotels have provided some of us in healthcare a place to stay, the downside that people don't see is the reason why we might stay there is because I don't want to go home and get my whole family sick. Since if I'm there dealing with people that have the illness, then I have the concern and the stress of, now could I then become part of the problem? So before we start thinking about letting tourists back in, what we'd really need to identify is whether or not they have positive antibodies. And that's going to take a long, long time. So the science says it's going to take a while. And then the other side of that argument is that sustainable? So there is a verifiable scientific equation of, do we just sequester the vulnerable and allow the less vulnerable to potentially naturally develop antibodies, or do we try to sequester everyone and keep this going as long as we can? That's a difficult question to answer because it's not just a legal question, it's not just a medical question, it becomes a moral question, and it comes down to what are you comfortable with? And really, from the standpoint of looking at the whole health of a patient, that's a very tough question to answer, and one that probably has to be answered individually. For my part, it's been a rough time. It's been a difficult equation. People are always asking questions, and usually most of the data we get gives us more questions. So it's tough. I can't give you a simple answer to your question. I just can't. Well, thank you very much. And of course, we really appreciate everyone. And no matter what, just don't forget to vote, and remember that I'm for change. And it really doesn't matter which group you belong to or what change you want. I'm for that change, so vote for me. Yes, well, of course, all of these are very interesting concerns, and we, the government, care very much about all of these concerns. And I really like it personally that people like to put all that blame where it rightly belongs, on the governor and the president, because no matter which one you blame or whoever gets the fallout from the outcome of this situation, it's okay as long as I personally get reelected. And don't worry, I won't be asking for a raise, because $888,888.88 is a really good luck number in China, so my friends tell me. So I'll be keeping that salary the same and won't ask the taxpayers to give me a raise, and that way I can keep that exactly the same and stay lucky. And regardless of any problem you may face, just make sure that you only blame the governor and the president and not any of us, because really it's all about them. It doesn't matter that they are just extensions of all of us that really decide everything. I've got another Illuminati and Bilderberg meeting coming up, so I have to go, but just remember to blame the talking heads of the governor and the president, and doesn't matter if he has small hands, because, you know, king of the dinosaurs don't matter. So anyway, peace out, and please vote for me again. So from all of us to all of you, hang in there. We got your back. So those are 5 ways of looking at things. If you look at them from the outside in, they can be difficult to understand. But if you look at them from the inside out, they can all make sense. If you're staying at home, are you being afraid? Are you being lazy? Or are you having the courage and discipline to deny yourself what you want to do for the benefit of everyone else? If you're struggling because you're out of work and you're hungry, that isn't really your fault, is it? But other people can see it as now you're their problem. But really, you can be doing the very best you can and just up against something that's hitting you harder than it's hitting some others. If you're feeling frustrated and angry because of the lack of government transparency or the feeling of government overreach limiting your civil liberties and essential freedoms, Outsiders can see you as reckless, but you might see yourself as protecting their right to oppose you and their right to stay home. It all depends on your point of view. If you're on the front lines as a first responder or in healthcare, you can see things that everyone else doesn't see. Everyone might think you have the answers, but you might not. And you might realize the big picture, that a lot of different things have to work together for us all to come out of this all right. If you're in government, outsiders might see that as about power and greed. But from the inside out, it can be about service. It can be about trying to use what resources we have for the greater good. Each of us needs to truly listen and appreciate what it is to walk in each other's moccasins. What voice do we listen to? That's the question for today. What voice do we listen to? Choose to listen to Keakua. Choose to listen to Aloha. No good decision is ever made out of anger and fear. Good decisions are made out of courage and aloha. Be the aloha you hope to see in the world around us. Mahalo nui loa for sharing this time. We come in peace. We look for and see the good in others. We train in mutual respect.